In a world filled with chaos and confusion, in an echo chamber filled with lies and deceptions, comes a ray of light. Live from Madison, Wisconsin, it's John and Gordy in the morning on 92.7 WMDX.
WMDX 92.7. It's John and Gordy in the morning, down at the controls, and another day of watching the country just tear apart. That's something I'm looking forward to.
Well, good morning. Yeah. Rise and shine, shake a leg, up and at 'em, top of the morning to you.
Just one thing after the next.
Off to a good start.
I just,
yeah.
I just want to throw up my hands and just say, that's it. It's all over.
Really?
It's all over, but for the fat lady singing, right?
Okay, that's what they say.
That's what they say.
Good morning, Dom. How are you?
Okay.
Oh, just okay?
There's a reason why I'm just okay. As I said yesterday or a couple days ago, I was a Bears fan, and they lost. And
oh, yeah, that's right.
I
had
had
last night on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
and I had way too much pizza, and this morning my stomach is killing
Well,
me.
what the hell did you have on the damn pizza?
Pepperoni, that's it.
That's it?
I had the whole
your
pizza
whole
myself.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh, no, really?
I did.
Oh, my.
What kind of pizza? Like a frozen
A
pizza?
frozen pizza from Aldi. Yep.
And they have
And-
good pizza. Here's the thing. I have to say, you guys, you Gen Zers, like I told you earlier on another show, my son gets these boxes of instant pudding, and it's 4 or 5 servings, eats the whole damn thing at once. You really have to.
Moderation.
You can't have leftovers.
It's too good. It's too good. I just
my
couldn't.
good.
God.
Yeah.
All right.
So the Vikings beat the Bears. I went to bed before halftime.
It was a very close score.
It was.
Was it?
And we were doing good for the majority of the game. Then we lost it. We lost it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, it's too bad. Yeah.
It made me go in a pizza coma.
Okay. Well, good. It's kind of cloudy out there this morning, but not as chilly as it was yesterday morning.
No.
Yeah, we're in the mid-50s, 54 degrees currently. Highs today in the mid-70s, low to mid-70s. A little bit later on, we're going to talk to Jim Conway. He's an expert in infectious diseases and vaccinations. He's a professor of pediatrics, and we'll talk to him later this hour. And what else? Oh, we have, I think Brittany Merlot will be returning today. Believe so.
Yeah,
right?
that's the plan, I think.
Yeah. So we'll get the latest on what's happening weather-wise.
All right.
And yeah, today I think is the first day that Willie Street, the parking is back on Willie Street. They've changed things over there. They wanted to get the traffic a little bit more situated so people didn't keep running into the buildings. So, put cars there instead, bring the cars back in. And that'll keep people from weaving off the road into the buildings.
I think it's a great idea. I never understood taking the parking away because there
During
would always
rush
be
hour.
a straggler. There will always be a car there in some way, shape, or form. John Nolan dumps out with 2 lanes onto that one normally on Willie Street, but then they open it up for 2 lanes, which confuses a lot of drivers. They don't know how to drive that area. There's a right-hand turn there, but you can't turn there. Only buses can turn there. It's just a nightmare. Just, tampering with this confuses people. And this is the way to go.
Well, just wait till they start working on John Nolan Drive. That's in the mix, too. That's going to happen in just a few weeks. Going to shut down parts of John Nolan
Should we get
for the
in?
next 2 years.
Yeah, let's get into this. I know. I mean, they've got real work coming up there. They've got to rechange the shoreline just a little bit. Add some land, make a longer and wider bike path. It's just
Right.
What we do for bicyclists in this town. I just want to say, go away. Let's not do these things for the bicyclists. I'm sorry, but you have enough trails already. Go away.
Well, regardless of
Get off my lawn.
Okay. Regardless of the bicyclists,
yes.
they still have to remodel John Nolan Drive.
They do, and it's going to be
a long time coming.
A tragedy trying to get through there. I mean, it really is kind of a shortcut for a lot of people.
Yes.
You know,
it's a major artery.
That's not the only controversy that's out there. I found this yesterday, and I thought, wow, this is that one time we'll really talk local stuff here. And that is changing Stoughton Road.
What?
You know? Yeah. They want to change Stoughton Road from, let's say Highway 30.
Okay. Yeah.
South to the Beltline. They have too many traffic accidents. I'm trying to wrap my head around where do you have the traffic accidents on this part of the road?
Stretch.
It's a straight stretch. You're right. Where are the accidents? What are you talking about?
Why do they have to change it? What needs to be changed?
Because there are too many accidents. That's why they want to change it. And I don't see any real reason for traffic accidents there. Here's the thing. It's beautiful. Stoughton Road is beautiful north of Highway 30, right?
Right.
It's like 4 or 5 lanes. It's beautiful. I mean, you can drive 55 miles per hour. So what do they want to do? They want to, it's always the local crazy people that want you to go maybe 25 miles per hour in Stoughton Road. Come on. We've already proven the fact that we need Stoughton Road for very high-speed traffic that can't make it onto I-94, right?
Right.
So here we are. These people, I took some of the story down. After the summer's public meeting with the Department of Transportation, resident Gabriel Hill voiced frustration with the state's response to community feedback. No, really? Hill said residents in Alders have been clear about wanting safer crossings, less noise, more walkability.
Walkability on Stoughton Road?
I get so mad. And streets that felt like neighborhoods again. What in the God? Where are you living? What's wrong with you? Oh, my God.
Now, they have frontage roads all along there.
I know there are frontage roads. You can go as slow as you want. You can walk along the frontage roads, right?
Right. Nobody wants to walk on Stoughton Road.
No one does. But here's the thing. They want people to cross safely on Stoughton Road. That's always a problem, right? I mean, it's a very fast road, and you have people crossing Stoughton Road to get to maybe Quick Trip across the street.
Sure, okay. Yeah.
Right?
I guess. Trying to recall if there are any Quick Trips on Stoughton Road.
There aren't any on Stoughton Road. There is on, and I'm trying to...
Flom?
It's not Flom. It's the next one up.
I don't know.
I should know that.
Buckeye Road? Maybe?
Yeah, Buckeye Road. Right. It's Buckeye. So anyway, they're worried about students and people walking in that area. Yeah. And this is Stoughton Road.
It's a highway, really.
It's super speed, for most of the way, and all of a sudden you get near Buckeye Road, and that's where it slows. In fact, I'll be honest, it doesn't even slow down at that point.
No, not really.
It's still 55 all the way through.
Yes.
And there's like you say, frontage roads. You don't have to worry about it. People get off on the frontage roads and they go as slow as they want. Everybody speeds through there. This is the way to get from one side of town to the next. So they want to feel like neighborhoods again, and they want walkability, and they want less noise. What are you talking about?
I can't imagine a lot of pedestrian traffic crossing Stoughton Road to get where. I mean, there's convenience stores on either side. Eventually,
well,
no.
I don't think there are around Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Okay,
I don't.
Maybe
think so.
not.
I don't know. And it says here, however, when Wisconsin DOT talked about improvements, they often mean adding a lane, which is great. Add a lane. The current speed along Stoughton Road's southern section is 55 miles per hour. In every plan being considered, the limit would be lowered to 45 miles per hour, with options for some stretches of the road to be reduced to 35 miles per hour.
30.
Yeah, let's make it even more dangerous, slowing people down from 55 to 45 and then to 35. What are you thinking? Alderman Sean O'Brien represents the neighborhood bordering much of the southern stretch of the South Stoughton Road. He supports remaking the road into a boulevard like East Washington Avenue, which might also be a good idea.
Okay.
But if you need an extra lane, why are you going to put more grass between the two roads?
I wonder if they are planning on putting more bus stops there or something.
Well, I don't
like East Wash.
And I didn't include this in the story, but I did read that the DOT, by the way, is thinking their main plan was to add the lanes, keep the 55, but the local businesses around there with the frontage roads were worried that it would obscure their businesses. The highway would obscure their businesses somehow, and people wouldn't be able to see the stores along Stoughton Road. So the local people canceled that. And that was the best solution of all. Keep it the same from the north to the south.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's a throughway.
It is.
My God.
Okay.
Oh, I find
it's exhausting.
We have all this traffic information.
Well, there are a lot of cars.
Well,
yeah,
and it's getting worse. People are moving here. The city is growing.
Yeah.
And what do they want to do? They want to make it into a neighborhood. Okay. Oh, how nice, walkability. I want walkability along Stoughton Road because, 55 miles per hour is okay. I don't feel endangered.
They're going to have to put some pedestrian overpasses, like on the belt line.
That's what you have to do.
Stoughton Road is a highway. It's not a road. It's a throughway.
And one of the best examples, Gordy, I think you'll probably recognize this too. It's 151, Verona Road, going to Verona from, the belt line to Verona.
Sure.
And along the way up to PD, McKee Road, it's beautiful. It's like 4 lanes. It's gorgeous. You can go very fast along there. Well, you shouldn't, but you can go very fast along there. And there are turnoffs to get to where you want to go.
Yeah, they remodeled that.
It's perfect, right?
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it must be a little tough for the pedestrian traffic to get across.
No, they can go under the bridge.
Oh, that's right. They can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't they do something like that on Stoughton?
Yeah, walk around Bennett's, maybe stop by for some eggs and porn. And then
oh my God. All right.
But
well, that's traffic talk this morning.
Well, I think we've solved the whole problem.
I think
we wanted to be local, This is local.
Well,
sure.
This is local, but people have got to grow up. Just get with the actor. This is a city that's growing, and we need the speed to get from one side to the other. We don't need neighborhood traffic and pedestrian comfort and no noise. Well, if you don't want noise, then go to an EV. Everybody should buy EVs.
When we were driving to the Brewers game, there was the EV. It was silent the whole way. Yeah. The whole way, even in Milwaukee. Yeah, it was great.
I know. The space car.
The space car.
I always thought that if they had demonstrations of EVs all around the country, people would buy more EVs. Just let people drive, test them out.
Why not?
They would be impressed.
Love it. Okay. We're just getting started on this Tuesday morning. When we come back, would you rather or would you rather not?
I would rather not. Or I would rather. Yeah.
Okay.
You would rather do would you rather. Okay. It's all coming up on John and Gordy, WMDX. Brings you this portion of John and Gordy. Celebrate Labor Day with unbeatable savings. Get a free box or platform foundation with your mattress purchase. Upgrade your sleep experience. The Labor Day sale continues through September. Verlo Mattress, East and West in Madison. Go to Verlo.com.
Does Donald Trump's big bill provide the largest federal spending cut in U.S. history? No. Spending cuts in the bill that Trump signed wouldn't be the largest ever, despite claims by Republican U.S. Representative Scott Fitzgerald. The original House version would have nominally cut over $1.6 trillion over 10 years. The final version cut even less, $1.2 trillion. With $4.5 trillion in tax cuts, the act will increase federal debt by a massive $3.3 trillion over the next decade. Nonpartisan analysts say the plan's cuts would rank behind a 2011 law's $2 trillion in spending cuts. As a percentage of GDP, it doesn't rank in the top 5%. I'm Trisha Young for Wisconsin Watch. Fact Briefs are bite-sized fact checks of trending claims produced by Wisconsin Watch and GigaFact. Learn more at wisconsinwatch.org.
Here's a dose of reality. Driving under the influence of prescription painkillers is just as illegal and just as deadly as driving drunk. In fact, there are nearly 2,000 drug-related crashes every year in Wisconsin. Help prevent drugged driving, and let's achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roadways. Driving on pills kills. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Departments of Health Services, Transportation, and Justice.
Hey, Gordy, I gotta admit, these hearing aids from Madison Hearing Aid Center changed my life.
Mine too, John. I thought I needed subtitles to talk to my grandkids.
And these aren't those old giant clunkers we saw in the old days. It's got Bluetooth, it's rechargeable, the works.
Yeah, my phone connects straight to my ears. I'm basically a cyborg now.
Well, you just figured out texting last year, too.
Yeah, baby steps. But I did call Madison Hearing Aid Center, and you should too. 608-249-4077.
608-249-4077. Tell them John and Gordy sent you. All right, WMDX.
What's the matter?
92.7. I'm watching Kettle Moraine Heating again. Their ads are on the station, Script Snooze, and they've got a lot of ads on here. They just killed a dinosaur that attacked them. I just love it. I guess, they're attacking heat with air conditioning. That was the point. But they're cute ads, I have to say that.
Very cute. It's 23 minutes past the hour. It's John Peterson, Gordy Young, along with Dominic Lee, and now it's time for Would You Rather, right?
Is it?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Standing by. Would you rather?
This is.
Oh, this is.
Would you rather? Okay. All right.
Starts out well.
It takes forever to start. All right, first question. Would you rather have access to classified government documents or the ability to influence global stock markets? This one,
Global markets.
Really?
I want to control the world.
Oh, man.
I kind of agree. I think I'm going to go global stock markets there.
I'd go with the classified documents. I think there's a lot of interesting reading there.
Oh. Find out who that big paycheck was made out to, huh?
Sure.
My wife thinks it was Melania.
Which paycheck are you talking about?
Where they released the picture of Epstein holding this gigantic fake cardboard paycheck.
Cardboard paycheck?
And and they blacked out the name of the person it was made out to, but I didn't say it. Ann said that.
Okay.
That's Melania. I'll bet that's how much she paid Melania.
Could be.
So you're going to switch your answer then, maybe? Classified government documents. You want to know who?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not interesting. No. This whole administration is not interesting.
All right. Second question. Would you rather have to approve every highway billboard personally or wave at every car that passes by when you are driving? Every single one. Oh, man, that would be terrible.
Billboards.
Yeah, I would do billboards.
Yeah,
too.
I think.
Yeah, but there's a lot of billboards.
I'd like to. No, actually, I'd like to see more imaginative billboards. Yep, and
Really?
more electronic ones.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're all in the same boat on that.
You
All
agree
right.
as well?
I
There
like
you
the
go.
billboard thing.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's all I got for today.
Really?
That's it?
Weren't you
You
told
need
by
to-
one of our listeners that you needed at least a number of options here?
Yeah, we got
Like Like 3 or 4 options?
No, Gordy's neighbors gave me
That's
options.
right. Gordy's neighbors said that.
They never said that. They just gave me an option yesterday, which I already did it on the air.
Okay.
And
you should workshop a closing thing for this. A closer.
like an outro.
You have an intro. You need an outro.
Yeah, that's true.
This has been Would You Rather.
Oh God, you guys really want to hear that?
I do.
No.
I do. I want to see where you go
all
with
right.
this.
I'll go with that.
All right. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
with an outro.
How much reverb you could use?
Well, I can do a lot. There we go.
I know. I know. Okay. We didn't even know what that intro meant for the first 2 weeks. Oh, boy.
So,
Yeah.
a little bit later on, we're going to talk to Jim Conway just in about 20 minutes, right? Or so.
Right.
Yeah. He's, there's been a lot of talk about RFK Jr. going in front of Congress and them questioning him and about infectious diseases and vaccinations and everything else. And hopefully Jim Conway will help straighten some of that out,
Well,
although it's a tangled mess.
It's a mess.
What can you say? But he's a professor of pediatrics and knows a lot about that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
so
definitely.
school us.
I'm just interested in this Donald Trump solicitation for money, $15 donations from supporters.
For what?
He wants to raise some money for himself. So he says he wants to try and get to heaven, and he thinks that somehow you have to pay at the door. I guess. I don't know. I don't know why he's using that as an excuse to
It's just
raise
one
money.
grift after
I want
another.
to go to heaven. Well, you don't have to pay to get in if
Well, how
you're
do you
really
know?
going into heaven. They may even actually trick him. It may look like heaven. All right, come on in.
Oh,
It's $300,000. He gets in there. It's a little warm. Here's his letter. He says, "I want to try and get to heaven." It's got his picture on the top of it. Last year, I came millimeters from death when that bullet pierced through my skin. My triumph return to the White House was never supposed to happen. But I believe that God saved me for one reason, to make America great again. I wasn't supposed to be crooked Hillary in 2016, but I did. Yep. I wasn't supposed to, secure the border, but I did. I certainly wasn't supposed to survive an assassin's bullet, but by the grace of the Almighty God, I did. So now I have no other choice but to answer the call to duty. But I can't do it alone.
Oh.
Again, he wants to try to get to heaven. Send $15. Remember when he was asking for $15 and he says, but you know what? If you can't afford it, don't worry about it. You won't have to worry about elections anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So anyway, this is an attempt to go to heaven. Don't send him a penny.
Boy, is that brand new? Is that his latest grift?
Yeah, his latest. Yeah, I think he's been doing this for a couple of weeks now.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
All right. It is time for Midwest Food and Farm Report. And when we come back, Idiocracy on John and Gordy for a Tuesday morning, WMDX.
Just trade them for a package of the sunshine and flowers. 'Cause if you want the things you love, you must have the showers. So if you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me.
As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point. Intelligence continued to decline until humanity was incapable of solving even its most basic problems.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
No! You dense, irritating miniature beast of burden!
Idiocracy.
For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
Oh, man. There's so much stuff. You know, when I doom scrolled last night, I was like, oh, my God, every one of these stories we could talk about this morning. And it's that bad. All right, WMDX 92.7. Maybe it's good that we don't have every story on this program.
It's 6:35. It's cloudy in some places this morning. Some of it's clearing out as well already. Temperatures in the mid-50s. We'll get into the low 70s later on. A mix of clouds and some sun.
All right.
Okay.
Well, you know, I always thought that the Trump administration this time around is pretty much like The Apprentice, you know? You win, you lose. Some of the people don't work out. You know, what do they become? Ambassadors, right? And they don't get kicked off completely. You're not fired.
Nobody's been fired yet.
Because the last time he did that, everybody wrote books about him. So this time around, you know, he's giving them ambassadorships so they don't write books and tell tales. Okay, that's what they're doing. But I thought this comment was pretty fitting for all of this. We are currently living under a regime that employs over 30 people who used to work for a TV station that was fined $787 million for lying to its viewers. So maybe it's something we should all consider. Keep in the back of our minds.
They're talking about, what, the Fox thing with the voting machines?
Yeah, the voting machines, right. Yeah. And they lied through their teeth.
Yeah,
they knew they were lying.
Right.
But, you know, this is one way of passing the loyalty test. And they have passed, and now they're part of the administration. Again, 30 people from TV stations. One, really, Fox News.
Network.
Oh, my gosh. All right, here's one health-related. RFK Jr. believes the health advisory panel is woke. Now, that can be dangerous, right? I mean, you know, they're putting off the panel's recommendations because they're a little afraid of what might come out. In fact, we're watching RFK on the monitor here in the studio right now. New polling on vaccine policies. No kidding. You think people are for him? Anyway, his advisory panel is responsible for creating recommendations for preventive care, including mammograms and colonoscopies, that health insurance plans must cover at no cost. That's the importance of this advisory panel. If they don't recommend this stuff, it's not covered. In fact, there was a lawsuit at the Supreme Court level that tried to get all of these preventive care services taken off because they didn't want to pay for somebody else's checkups. Well, thank gosh the Supreme Court threw that one out. But anyway, critics accuse the panel of being influenced by left-wing ideology for considering factors like systemic racism in its recommendations. It's just, it's this paranoia about being taken advantage of, right? This is the problem with Trump and RFK Jr. They think everybody's trying to game the system like they would.
Right.
They think other people are like them, and that's not true. But you know what? They wanted to get rid of mammograms. They wanted to get rid of that checkup.
Jeez. Really?
Yes. That's right. So, there are so many smaller stories to the big stories that we've been talking about here on the show. And that's why I was doom scrolling and feeling horrible, because they're just, if you go at the micro level, you'll see all the other things that we're not talking about, we can't talk about because it's just too much of this stuff. It's going on in the system all over the place. So, yeah, we've got a lot of surprises coming up in this administration. My God.
I want to know what Jim Conway thinks of that as well, especially since we talked to him this next segment. So.
Yeah, we'll be along in 10 minutes or so.
Well, everybody's familiar with the James Bond villain, Sebastian Gorka, right? Somehow he escaped the movie screen and he's out there.
He's a piece of work.
With the administration.
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh. Well, he melted down after getting fact-checked for blaming the transgender community for mass shootings. There's no evidence gender identity had any influence on Robin Westman's decision to shoot children at the Catholic school. Let's listen to cut number 4 here.
96% of attackers when you're looking at the U.S. Secret Service National Threat Assessment Center, looking at 172 mass attacks in the U.S. between 2016 and 2020, 96% were non-trans men. So I know you're focusing on this shooter being trans. The shooter was trans, and that is certainly of note. But are you missing the bigger picture here when you zero in on that instead of more broadly these school shooters as an epidemic, and you perhaps miss the through line that connects them all?
Well, no, because your facts obfuscate two things. You are using data based upon the predominant gun violence, which is gang-on-gang violence with zero ideological content. If you remove all of that, then you come down to a much smaller data set. So let's concentrate on mass shootings at schools, specifically Christian or Catholic schools, then the data set is wholly different. So don't conflate different data sets just to make a political point. There was an ideological content to this attack. That's what terrorism is. It's not because somebody didn't get the drug deal they wanted. It is an ideological message, whether it was anti-Israel, as in this case, whether it targeted President Trump in its rhetoric, as we saw on one of the magazines written by the perpetrator on that YouTube video, or whether we saw the fact that it was anti-Christian and targeting children. That has nothing to do with gang violence.
So let's narrow it down then, because by CNN's count, when you look at 32 school shootings since 2020, in which you have 4 or more people who have been killed. So these are the larger school shootings. Only 3 of 32 of those shootings were committed by transgender shooters.
Yeah, forgive me if I don't go with CNN stats, okay?
Oh, yeah.
CNN has proven itself to be wholly inaccurate in all kinds of things for the last 10 years.
All right, it's simple math. 2 of 32
No, it's
shootings.
not. It's distortions. You are distorting the facts. Let me be clear. In just a couple of years, we have seen 7 mass shootings involving people of transgender nature or who are confused in their gender. 7
I saw what
in
you
just
tweeted.
the last couple of years.
I see
that
your
is
list of 7.
inordinately high. So
I see your
please,
list of 7. 2 of them
I'm
are.
going to stick
Okay.
not CNN's pseudo facts.
We can't stick with your facts because they're not accurate. In fact, in 2 of them, one of the ones you quoted.
Let's talk about CNN's reputation for accuracy.
In one of the ones in which you posted, there was no evidence that he was trans.
Right.
In another, the individual was known
quote-
within his
I didn't-
family by
I didn't
male
give it-
pronouns
see?
and used anti-LGBT
You have an agenda.
rhetoric.
Yeah, no, well, I have a point to make, and you don't. Maybe this blowback because of mega vilification of gender dysphoria is coming back to haunt them now. Maybe he can't defend himself because he didn't expect something like this. The shooter was involved with online scripture that worships mass shooters. That was also a major factor in all of this stuff. And the fact that the shooter was not exactly transgender, had considered maybe different ways of describing himself, but that doesn't mean he's a transgender individual. This is crazy stuff. I mean, Sebastian Gorka is, truly one of those crazy people.
Where did he come from?
Like I said, I think he stepped out of the movie screen. It was like the movie Last Action Hero, which is really a fantastically great movie. But I think he just stepped out with an accent like that.
I know.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But it's soothing. It's a soothing voice. Michael Jensen, research director at the National Consortium for the Study of Terrorism and Responses to Terrorism, has identified more than 1,000 mass casualty plots when the perpetrator clearly intended to kill or injure as many people as possible since the start of 2023. He wrote, you can count on less than one hand how many of those were perpetrated by transgender individuals. So Sebastian Gorka is wrong. The CNN host was right. I can't remember her name.
Breonna Taylor.
Yep.
Breonna. I don't know.
Well, yeah. All right. Anyway, that's the big story there. I always like listening to Sebastian Gorka. It's just what
really, he should be an action, a villain,
a villain
action movie.
In a movie. Yeah. All right, let's get to some commentary. This is fantastic stuff. We've been trying to get to this a long time. John Stewart on Israel. He says he feels like he's watching something that is so self-evidently inhumane and horrific. Let's listen to cut number 2.
This has rocked my. I feel like a crazy person. I feel like I'm watching something that is so self-evidently inhumane and horrific, and to be told that I have to shut up because I risk the Jewish state by speaking out, I would say the opposite. I think not. I think they're putting the likelihood of a surviving Jewish state much more at risk with this type of action. I think they're the ones that are being if you want to define Netanyahu, with the definition of anti-Semitism, would probably have to bomb himself.
That's right. And, it was described one way. It was saying, well, which is worse, starving Palestinians, as they are doing, or not treating the sick from the injuries that they get from trying to get the food. Seriously.
Right.
Mehdi Hassan wrote about Bibi, who posted absolute BS the other day. He wrote, guy indicted by the International Criminal Court for War Crimes and Crimes Against Humanity, including using starvation as a weapon of war, endorses the cover-up of his starvation by the Free Press. This is Benjamin Netanyahu posted this, and this is from the Free Press. Sadly, they didn't do well covering this. Let's listen. 199.
So you've probably seen these photos of skeletal kids in Gaza on front pages, all over social media, even in a UNICEF ad. They've become the symbols of famine. But we decided to look into these photos and the stories behind them. And what we found is that in case after case, these kids were sick, but not just with malnutrition. In every instance, they were suffering with other conditions or illnesses like cystic fibrosis, cerebral palsy, and even traumatic head injuries. A few weeks ago, I started to notice that the same kids were appearing over and over again in coverage about Gaza, and they were being photographed by different photographers, which suggests some element of coordination.
Mm-hmm. Something else, huh? Again, the question, starving Palestinians or not treating them if they're sick or injured?
Yeah.
Which is worse?
What's the choice?
Yeah, it's outrageous. And, the Free Press is getting, lambasted for this particular coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And well, they should.
Yeah.
And it's just so outrageous what's going on in Gaza that, it's still, because of what Trump is doing, it's off the front pages. But really, truly, this is a humanitarian disaster.
It's awful. Yeah. It is 6:48. Coming up right around the corner here next, Jim Conway. He's a professor of pediatrics. We're going to be talking about vaccinations and infectious diseases. That's next on John and Gordy in the Morning, WMDX.
Hello, Jim.
Oops. Hey, good morning.
There we go.
Good morning. Good morning.
Now we can hear you. Okay. Good morning, Jim. We're coming up in a couple of minutes here.
Great.
Let's see.
Yeah.
We want to get your take on RFK Jr., but you can save it for when we get back on the air.
What's happening, with people, the confusion about the vaccinations. It's
sure. Yeah, it's a bit to unpack, and he's certainly a piece of work.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt.
We saw some video. We didn't know what they were saying, but DeSantis came up answering questions about the public's concern about the vaccines.
Yeah, in Florida.
My God.
Yeah, the Surgeon General down there is also, on paper, supposedly a well-trained. I mean, we went to Harvard and Johns Hopkins and everything, and studied disparities and inequities in healthcare, and then turns around and decides to undo everything.
Yeah, let's talk about that part of it. He's kind of the mystery man here, the Surgeon General. Ladapo, right? Dr. Ladapo?
The guy down in Florida?
Yeah.
He's nobody really knows what to make of him. On paper, he looks like he should be a public health advocate, and then he somehow has become a politician. I don't quite know how that happens to people. They drink some kind of weird Kool-Aid or something along the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do a quick PSA here for a walk for the Alzheimer's.
All right.
We have Joe on the line as well. I don't know if we can hold her or
I can screen her and we can hold her for next segment.
Unless she's
ask her if she can talk in the next segment.
Yeah,
okay,
for sure. Yeah,
all right.
I'll do that
all
while
right.
you guys are talking. Okay. All right, 1 minute.
One step beyond.
WMDX, John and Gordy going one step beyond.
It is 6:52. Weather today, highs in the low 70s. Right now, 54 degrees. Currently more than 6 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's, and over 11 million family and friends provide their unpaid care. We need your help in ending this devastating disease. Why don't you join us at the 2025 Walk to End Alzheimer's? It's happening Sunday, October 5th at Warner Park. You can go to our website, WMDXradio.com, and check out our Walk for Alzheimer's. Okay, time now to have Jim Conway join us. He is a professor of pediatrics and an expert on infectious diseases and vaccinations. Jim, good morning to you.
Welcome back.
Good to have you with us.
Yes.
Yeah, great to be back. Thanks for having me.
All right.
So there's so much in the news.
There really
Where do we
is
start?
about vaccines, and that's one of the things that's confusing a lot of people. What we've seen in Florida with the Surgeon General's decree that they want to remove mandates for vaccines for everybody in the state, but including, of course, children in schools. It's scaring a lot of people in Florida. We saw a little screenshot of DeSantis addressing the issue. A lot of concerned parents are wondering what's going on and how all of this is going to unwind. And, of course, this still needs approval from the legislature in Florida. What do you think of something like this? I don't believe there's any state in the country that doesn't mandate some form of vaccine for children, at least.
Yeah, it's held up in court decisions now for centuries, really, that, when we put kids into these places where we ask them to work and play together and share, unfortunately, one of the things that they're going to share is microbes. And so there is sort of a social obligation to keep kids safe in those settings. And one of the ways that we do that is to exclude them when they have illnesses. But as part of that, you can also then require them to have vaccines that'll protect them against these diseases, but also protect the other kids by having these kids not able to bring those diseases into the schools. And so, that's held up now for literally centuries. And it is one of those things that parents have come to expect and teachers have come to expect as well, that they're going to be protected if we're going to essentially have these sort of mass congregation settings.
Yeah. Well, the confusion over the vaccines, whether they work or not, we're finding out, of course, from RFK Jr., who says they don't work. They're really not effective. And that, of course, creates a lot of questions for the public. Now they don't know whether the CDC is actually telling them the truth. It creates a tremendous amount of uncertainty in the public. And this is really doing horrible, I guess, public health concerns for everybody in the country. Consequences. Yeah. We have a cut here for this. Let me see here. I think I have something here. Oh, CNN. Oh, here. Let's go to CNN stats on vaccines. Do you have that at all?
Let's look for that.
Yeah, 25.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. There we go.
Let's play that.
These agencies, the FDA, USDA, and CDC, all of them are controlled by giant for-profit corporations. 75% of the FDA's funding doesn't come from taxpayer, it comes from pharma. And pharma executives and consultants and lobbyists cycle in and out of these agencies with President Trump's backing. I'm going to change that. We're going to staff these agencies with honest scientists and doctors who are free from industry funding.
All right, let's stop it right there.
Sure that...
Jim, what do you think of something like that, that kind of accusation?
Yeah, it's just a misplaced and misunderstanding of really how things work. I mean, certainly, when pharmaceutical companies have to put their packets together to submit for review and approval of a drug, they have to pay for that process. But that doesn't mean that that's being used to then impact the decisions that are being made. I think one of the things that we all have to recognize is that science to happen has to be funded. And, that's a combination. It can't all fall on the backs of the taxpayers and the government. And so we know that the pharmaceutical industry funds a lot of the research that goes on because they obviously have a vested interest in creating products, but that's also how much of the best stuff works. And many scientists, many universities, many organizations work with those organizations to create the best drugs that we can get. And so it's really sort of a twisting of the reality to say that then that's exactly what's happening when the decisions get made on what gets approved. So, while it may sound good in a sound clip, really it's undermining the whole basis of how we get things done in this country and how science marches forward.
I've always heard that a lot of this research is actually funded by the public. The NIH, colleges, of course, have done a lot of research, and then it goes from the NIH into the FDA, and they dole out who gets these drugs to, continue the research and refine the product. Is that how it works?
It's complicated because it really depends on what the product is and how the process works. I mean, certainly a lot of the basic science around the idea for vaccines comes out of just basic science. And you're right. For years it's been funded by CDC and NIH and the others. And certainly, universities fund a lot of that as well. But it's really sort of a give and take process. It depends on where you are in discovering and understanding the disease, discovering then what are the drivers of the disease and how do you protect against that disease. And, the pharmaceutical industry, we wouldn't have any of these drugs if they weren't involved and weren't interested in helping us actually fix these things, because somebody's got to have the manufacturing capacity. But they've, by definition in our country, got to have some output in a capitalist society. The U.S. pharmaceutical industry really, in many ways, has driven globally all of the scientific developments that we've seen. And that's certainly going to be, hopefully going forward, the way we see things still unfolding.
Yeah, it's very tenuous at this point.
It is.
All right. Well, Jim, that's all the time we have at this point.
We appreciate you being with us.
Of course.
And it's Jim Conway, professor of pediatrics. We appreciate it. And
we have so much more to talk about. We'll get you back on the program.
Mm-hmm. No worries. You know where to find me.
Very good. Okay, very good. We're back with more of John and Gordy in the morning, our 7 o'clock hour just around the corner. Stay with us.
John and Gordy Morning Show. Good morning, Madison.
Yes, I feel like we're at a concert right now. You know, introducing John and Gordy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rock on, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Sure.
92.7. Yeah. All right.
John Peterson, Gordy Young, along with Dominic Lee. And 6 minutes past the hour, seeing some sunshine peeking through some early morning clouds. Highs in the low 70s today, right now mid-50s. Want to mention the WMDX poll, which you can find at WMDXradio.com. What's the most challenging part of getting to the Dane County Farmers Market, John? What do you think? Finding parking, waiting in Stella's spicy cheese bread line, accidentally buying too many kohlrabi, or bumping into 47 people you know before you can even get once around the square? What's the most popular answer?
Well, I know it's
the
parking.
challenging part.
I know it's parking.
Yeah, it is parking. It's always about the parking.
It is.
57% at pick that one.
I gotta say though, waiting in the Stella spicy cheese bread line takes forever. I did that one time, and I just regret it.
Oh my God!
Well, you got to get on there and vote, because it's got 0% right now.
Well, I'll be the first.
Okay. Well, all right.
Joe has been waiting patiently on the line here. Let's go to Joe this morning. Good morning, Joe. Go ahead.
Dr. Conway was fantastic. I hope you bring him back again and again. He really had a great, really good at explaining things and explaining the complexity of vaccines and drugs. And I thought he was really well spoken, really had a lot to say. So
Joe,
put him on the Rolodex.
Joe, we wanted him for a half hour, but he had something scheduled this hour, so he had to only have that only 7 minutes. So. Yeah.
But we will have.
You bring gaffer's tape and you just tape people to a chair if it's necessary. I mean, that's what we have to do.
Yeah, we'll send Dom out to do that.
I don't know about that one. I don't know.
It's an option. Okay.
So what's on your mind? He's a great guest. He's a great guest.
Yeah. I wanted to add to the discussion. You had started out the idiocracy by talking about Fox News and the defamation lawsuit that they had of $780 million. And it's really important for people to understand that that's the largest defamation lawsuit in American history. And what that defamation means is, it's not like you went, I don't like the look of your face. It is you have said something about a person or a company that is wrong, that is absolutely factually wrong, and that saying that causes harm, and that you did not go and redress it in any way. There are plenty of times to say, oh, I retract what I said. I had the facts wrong. I'm sorry. That never did they say that. And so you end up with this TV network that is a liar land. It is liar land. I mean, do you go to places where people lie to you? If a car mechanic lies to you or a real estate agent, would you ever go back to them? You don't go back to them when people lie to you. But people go back to Fox again and again and again and again. Yeah. And that clip that you had with Mr. Gorka was just absolutely wonderful. He said, I won't accept CNN stats.
Yes.
Well, come on, and I think we're in the same place with this stew that Robert Kennedy Jr. is creating, which is parents are left. What's true? We don't know. I mean, this guy is not accurate, and he's leading this nationally very, very important agency for us. And so I just would encourage people to come back and listen to the fact that the people with Fox News are lying to you on a regular basis. They paid out that $780 million claim, and they have another one coming down the pike, which is the smart tech voting machines. These companies were harmed by the lies that Fox said, and this is why they've ended up in court. Golly, would you want to get your information from that sort of place? Yeah. No, it doesn't make sense. Any rate, so you won't have that here. You won't have it on John and Gordy. So
that's right.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you
guys. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Joe, for hanging
Joe.
on. Yeah,
we appreciate the big
good
thumbs
points,
up there.
All good points.
Yes.
Just amazing. It really is. They do have their own set of facts, and I know that Trump was setting everybody up to dispute the upcoming election, and he wanted MAGAs to go out there and start bad-mouthing the voting machines again. And I know they're not going to do that this time. So, yeah, the lawsuit will probably have a profound good effect on at least ending that lie.
Let's hope so.
All right. But, one of the shocking things that happened yesterday, and I think this is where this is one of the big frustrations I have. Democrats just don't know how to fight the fight. Remember, we were talking about the Supreme Court making really a lot of bad decisions, and also, making Trump into the king that he is today,
yes.
right?
Right.
That was the final straw for me. And then we were talking about possibly adding other justices to the Supreme Court. Now, you got to admit, that is where we should have gone. We should have beat that horse to death. We should have tried to get that done. We should have at least made a big point of it, even if we couldn't get it done. But we let that one go. So now we've got this decision to have to deal with, where the court is now allowing racial profiling. They let it go. This is what they have decided to do.
The Supreme Court.
Yeah, the Supreme Court. The conservatives issued a brief, unsigned order saying immigration agents may stop and detain anyone they suspect is illegally here based on little more than working at a car wash, speaking Spanish, or having brown skin.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. This is racial profiling. It's okay. The Supreme Court has stamped their approval on this one. Brett Kavanaugh, of course, feeling a little guilty. He wrote a 10-page opinion. Now, remember, these are the people that are saying it's merit, not skin color. Right? Okay. Anyway, he wrote, he said, stops are reasonable and legally based on the totality of circumstances. What could mean anything, right? He said stops are reasonable and legal. That there is an extremely high number and percentage of illegal immigrants in the Los Angeles area. So that's one good reason to stop people, anyone, right?
Yeah.
That those individuals tend to gather in certain locations. There you go. There's another great legal decision. And those individuals often work in certain kinds of jobs. And many in L.A. come from Mexico or Central America and do not speak much English. He wrote that. This is his reasoning on all of this stuff. I don't know if he's ever seen the term racial profiling before, but apparently not. By the way, everything he listed in this 10-page opinion were the exact factors that the district judge and the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals said agents may not use as a basis for stopping someone and questioning them.
But the Supreme Court has just kicked it back the other way.
It's just the opposite.
Right.
Sotomayor blasted the decision as unconscionably irreconcilable with our nation's constitutional guarantees. These justices, they use these long words together. Now, I would not have put unconscionably irreconcilable. I don't think I would have put those two together. Right?
Yeah.
That seems like a...
Could have used like mind-blowing. Let's get,
there you go, Gordy. You hit it on the head. That's what I would have used too.
Yay.
Okay. All right.
Let's go back to the phones here. Mark is on the line from Prairie to Sac this morning. Good morning, Mark. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning. Well, it's probable cause, and they use this type of racial profiling at this point in time. What's to mean that it doesn't stretch to something else?
Yeah.
I mean, it just, they decide, well, you're wearing the wrong T-shirt. You're wearing a John and Gordy T-shirt. So they decide that's probable cause. Do not these ICE agents take an oath to uphold the Constitution?
Oh, come on.
Or do they take an oath to Donald Trump? I mean, the Constitution actually is supposed to mean something. And for the love of God, I mean, and Sebastian Gorka,
I know.
That guy's not just playing an evil man. He is an evil man.
Well, he is,
Plain and simple, he is evil. I mean, it just... and his accent, his accent should be probable cause for deportation.
Well, here's
Good point.
Well, here's the other thing. What they have done is they are taking in so many immigrants now that they have done away, get this, they have done away with the paperwork.
Really?
They're not even bothering putting, anything together. They're not taking down the names of the people they're taking in, where their addresses are, their telephone numbers, maybe to get back to family members who may never see them again. They're not doing any of the paperwork at all because they're taking in too many people. It's too much for them.
Yeah. Well, it's disappearing people, and
right.
It occurred to me, and this reoccurred in my brain now that it reoccurred to me. They're talking about targeting the trans people now. One of the first people that Hitler targeted before he started his arrest and eradication of people are trans people, because there was a number of them in Nazi Germany, because sex changes were going on in Nazi Germany prior to World War II.
Right.
I mean, it is just.
And it says a lot about society, too, the way we're kind of letting this Gaza thing just get out of hand completely. It's been out of hand for a year now. And you mentioned you actually sent us a text. Why don't you tell us about that text? Again, we get back to Dickens every damn time, don't we? And A Christmas Carol?
Yes.
It's upon the girl's want and the boy's ignorance, and upon the brow of the boy's written doom. And these people have declared that all these people, not necessarily not only in Gaza, but starving people around the world, are the surplus population.
Yeah.
That they just simply want them to go away.
Yeah.
And
Disappear.
now Trump will have his Gaza Trump and.
Casino or whatever.
Well, this is what they did, in D.C. They got rid of the homeless camps. Well, if you don't see them, they're not there anymore. And capitalism is doing this to them, but we don't know about that anymore. We're erasing that.
Exist.
Yeah.
But they exist. Thanks, guys.
All right.
All right, Mark.
Thanks
Thank
a lot,
you.
Mark.
Appreciate the call.
Yeah, there's pretty outrageous stuff here.
608-879-8255. Okay. Hey. Would you like dinner on WMDX and Sugar River Pizza? Well, you can get that. How about winning your dinner from them and from us? Because we've both been nominated by Best of Madison, John and Gordy Show, and Sugar River Pizza. But Sugar River is giving you a chance to win a $50 gift card to cover your next meal. All you have to do is get onto our website, WMDXradio.com, and click on the banner that says Win Your Dinner. We do this once a week. We'll pull a registration out of the registration box. We have a registration box.
The official John and Gordy registration box.
I don't know how we do it, actually, but we do it once a week. $50 gift card will go to somebody, and then we clear out all the registrations for next week. So you can enter every single week, okay? Win a $50 gift card. It's good at Sugar River Pizza in Sun Prairie, okay? Thank them for that.
I'm looking at this picture on X. It's a picture of Trump way back when he was talking about getting COVID.
Wow.
It says here, this is a closed caption. The doctors said they've never seen a body kill the coronavirus like my body. They tested my DNA, and it wasn't DNA. It was USA.
Oh, that's clever.
Honestly, I do not know if that's real or not.
What does that mean?
The fact that I can't tell whether he actually said that or not says a lot.
Yeah, I guess so.
All
right. Coming up, we're going to check in with Brittany Merlot, get the latest on the weather, and much more of John and Gordy in the morning, right around the corner on WMDX.
Hello, Brittany.
Good morning.
All right.
All righty.
We do about 20 seconds.
All right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your baby where the action is.
Oh, yeah. WMDX 92.7. John and Gordy, check us out on the Civic Media app, if you will. And you can Bluetooth it into your car or just listen on the old radio dial. You can also text us from the app and voice note us.
And you can watch us on Facebook and YouTube.
That's right.
And you can call us, 608-879-8255.
We're working on that. You know, the visual. We're working on the visual side of it.
We're trying to get it up to par, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
and so we can at least let everybody see Brittany Merlot.
Yes. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Wearing her flannel shirt today.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. I'm not going to get as warm as you, so still got the long sleeves on.
Yeah. Well, how cold is it up there in Wausau?
Well, actually kind of mild for overnight temperatures, right? Because we had these as highs last week, but today we're only getting to the low 60s for me. So a little bit of rain mixed in there, a little bit of dreary of day. You guys, though, gorgeous.
Yes.
No
I
rain.
know, of course. And we live in that part of the state, you know.
I'm jealous. Watch out. I might be coming to Madison.
Okay.
Well, you were here over the weekend with
I was.
appreciation party. It was great to see you there Saturday night.
Thank you. That was so much
Saturday
fun.
afternoon.
That place is pretty cool.
I know.
Downdren's Distilling. Yeah. Terrific. So are the leaves starting to change a little bit more?
They are here.
I know they are around here.
They are by you too. No
Yes.
way. That's a
Yeah.
little shocking to me. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We've got a lot of reds already popping, I feel. A little bit of those orange in the tamarack trees and looking pretty. I can't wait.
Now, is there a reason why the trees can be more brightly colored this year because of the amount of rain that we got, right? Does that play a factor in the color of the leaves?
It can. It can turn them earlier if you get a lot of rain, and it can also add to that color. Also, you need sunshine, days with a lot of sunshine. So we're kind of getting that perfect mixture here as we go through the rest of this week. I really think it is going to be a vibrant year for colors, at least what I'm looking at so far. However, we are going to see some summer temperatures by Thursday and into this weekend, and even some more humidity too. So that might slow the colors a little.
Really?
All right.
How warm will it get by the end of the week? What are we talking? 80s?
Well, yep, 80s for sure. Thursday, you're going to hit about 80 degrees. You'll start to climb to the mid 80s Friday. Saturday, you could flirt with 90 in spots.
What?
But then a cold front moves through. Got a little bit of rain. Go back down
Wow.
to about 80 degrees for Sunday.
Okay.
All right.
Well, very good. And today, not bad at all. Looking good here, at least low 70s or so.
Yeah, partly sunny, low to mid 70s, maybe a tiny sprinkle or shower overnight, and then tomorrow, super sunny, back to the upper 70s.
All right. Brittany, thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Always good to talk with you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Take
it. That's our WMDX meteorologist, Brittany Merlot. Okay.
I want to bring a little Jesus to the show.
What?
Okay? Can we talk about Jesus?
Jesus.
HUD Secretary Scott Turner had a wonderful message for everybody about housing, and maybe if you had added just a little prayer each and every day, you might have housing for yourself. or something like that. Let's listen to Scott Turner, HUD Secretary.
You're not only the HUD secretary, you were also an associate pastor. And you say, under Donald Trump, faith is back in our government. Why is this important?
Well, as you know, we have a president that believes in the power of prayer. We have a president and a cabinet and an administration that not only believes in it, but we act on it. We pray in our cabinet meetings. We pray for our country. We pray for our constituents. And so when you see this being modeled, at the highest level of our government, it is a hope and an encouragement to the American people that God Almighty is the most important, and to submit under his will and to submit to him for the American people as we carry out these assignments. It's not only important, but I believe a great encouragement for our country.
And that's probably why we haven't heard anything from him. Secretary of HUD, how's that going?
Yeah. I don't know.
But, we got prayer. Jesus. All right. Well, I got this. This is a whole Jesus segment here. The Right Side Broadcasting Network had this. They're the #1 channel for live and unedited coverage of Trump rallies and America First events.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
did you know that? I didn't know that.
I had no idea.
Put MAGA religious leaders' speech on. Why don't we just play this? This is a wonderful little segment here.
I think what an extraordinary moment this is in our history, that we actually have a president who wants to put God first in all the things that we do.
There you go.
Not since our founders have we had anyone in the history of this nation to occupy the White House and be so bold. I remember that Dr. Carson and I, we spoke on National Prayer Day when this was announced, and we talked about this president invokes the name of Jesus any more than any president I've ever thought.
Oh, man. Wow. And while at the same time, Trump appeared to minimize domestic violence while speaking at the Museum of the Bible. Let's play cut number 42.
And much lesser things that take place in the home, they call crime. They'll do anything they can to find something. If a man has a little fight with the wife, they say, this was a crime, see? So now I can't claim 100%.
And he finished with this, cut 43.
As president, I will always defend our nation's glorious heritage, and we will protect the Judeo-Christian principles of our founding, and we will protect them with vigor. We have to bring back religion in America, bring it back stronger than ever before as our country grows stronger and stronger.
That's right. And author Shannon Watts pointed out Trump's past alleged issues with his first wife, Ivana, saying, man accused of raping his wife says domestic violence shouldn't be considered a crime. Big surprise. Huh?
Okay.
Oh, a lot of criticism, by the way.
Is he still selling that Trump Bible? Is that still out there?
I wonder.
I haven't heard much about that lately.
Yeah, they should have brought it up in conversation. I mean, they are the grifters.
Coming up, we've got the Midwest Food and Farm Report. We'll be back with more of John Peterson, Gordy Young, and Dominic Lee on WMDX.
livestock yards, dealers, and haulers. But what exactly will these increased fees be affecting? I'm Ben Jarbo with the Midwest Farm Report, and Kurt Larson, the president and CEO of Equity Livestock, is here to give an inside look on the proposed Chapter 12 fee increases.
Chapter 12 is the chapter that really impacts what we're doing. And there's an annual registration or annual license fee that we pay for our markets to be licensed every year. And then dealers, so livestock dealers as well as livestock truckers also have to pay an annual registration fee. And primarily what that does is it funds the audits. So in our case, our livestock markets, our markets are all Class A markets because of the number of sales we have in a year. So as Class A markets, the debt cap auditor comes out to our facility quarterly.
Kurt Larson, the president and CEO of Equity Livestock, joining us. For the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Ben Jarbo, and we'll take a look at some agriculture news right after this.
At the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection, they know your business has always been something special. Now you can let customers know it too, in an instant, with the red and yellow Something Special from Wisconsin sticker. Joining the program gives you access to supplier and distribution information, marketing support, and a community of like-minded Wisconsin businesses. Best of all, you'll let people know that your work is done with care, quality, and love. You've always been something special. Visit somethingspecialfromwisconsin.com to make it official.
Farmers and ranchers across the country trust Can-Am because of how they build, support, and stand behind their machines. Now they're backing that trust with even more. Get 24 months of coverage when you purchase select Defender and Outlander models through the Can-Am Agricultural and Business Program. That's how confident they are in the durability of their units. That's not all. You also get a rebate up to $3,500. Give your fleet the upgrade it deserves. Visit the Can-Am website to learn more about the program. Offer ends October 31st. Certain conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ben Jarbo with the Midwest Farm Report. Now let's take a look at some agriculture news. The Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce is once again holding their Coolest Thing Made in Wisconsin competition. The nomination period is open through September 12th, and the announcement of the Coolest Thing Made in Wisconsin for this year will be held on October 23rd. In other news, at the World Dairy Expo Championship Dairy Product Contest, Wisconsin showed why we are America's Dairyland by taking home 52.3% of all Cow's Milk Cheese awards. With a look at some agriculture news from the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Ben Jarbo.
Download the Civic Media app in the Google Play or Apple App Store and take us everywhere.
I think my phone's my primary emotional partner, to be honest with you. Right? Because if you scroll on your phone, you get everything you need, you know? You get laughs, you learn things, sometimes you cry, sometimes it's just moving, you know, you feel understood and seen. You know, all the things you should be getting from your human partner who's sitting across from you on their phone. You check in with them, like, you know, what are you laughing at? And they'll say, I'll text it to you.
Exactly what happened.
That's Mark Maron.
Yeah.
That's great.
That is so right on.
92.7 WMDX. John Peterson, Gordy Young. And seeing some hazy sunshine this morning, a few clouds, mid-50s, and we'll get into the low 70s a little bit later on. You know, on the Maggie Dawn show today, she's going to be talking with Stacey Abrams, who is one of the featured speakers tonight on the Capital Times Idea Fest lineup. She's going to be speaking, I think, about 7:30, along with some other folks. And let's see, Jennifer Rubin and Norm Eisen will be also a part of Idea Fest this evening. CapTimesIdeaFest.com is the place to go if you're looking for tickets or for times.
All right. Yeah.
Should we go to the phone lines, John?
Yeah, let's go to the phones. We have Dick on the line. What do you got for us, Dick?
Good morning, Dick.
Well, apparently that must be why they're not getting any help in Milwaukee from the floods a month plus after. He's still praying for divine intervention as opposed to actually doing anything.
That's right.
I've never heard anything so ridiculous, praying for our constituents.
Yeah.
Only certain of them is what he meant to say.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
you get so sick of this guy that every day you get up and you wonder, has he got us in a war? I have a friend who thinks he's starting all these skirmishes so that next year this time he can just say, well, we can't have an election. We're at war.
Right.
Any number of places.
Yeah.
Well, downplaying domestic violence was not, something you would normally hear a president do, right? Right? It's insane stuff. And making that kind of statement at the Museum of the Bible.
Yeah.
If you wrote this into a movie, they would reject the script.
Yeah.
It's too crazy, right?
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Dick,
Dick, thank you.
Thank you for that call. 608-879-8255 is our number.
All right, let's get to eliminating that vaccine mandate.
Oh, boy.
Because now we knew that would be the offshoot of something that RFK Jr. would have started, right? Putting down vaccines, getting rid of vaccine research, actually banning mRNA vaccines, any further research and all of that. So all of a sudden now, the East and West Coast states are banding together to guarantee continued access to mandated insurance pay for the vaccine. So why don't we let's go to cut 34. All right, let's check that out.
Here we go.
Let me check it out. I don't know if we have it. I have to go through my. This doesn't normally happen.
All right, please stand
okay.
by.
Oh, there we go.
We got it. All right.
Officials in California, Oregon, and Washington are banding together to provide their own vaccine recommendations after Health Secretary RFK Jr. replaced CDC's advisory panel. 8 states in the Northeast, are doing something similar. What's clear is that the U.S. is headed toward 2 very different vaccination realities. Joining us now, Florida board-certified pediatrician Dr. Mona Amin.
You're seeing states on the West Coast, you're seeing states in the Northeast, and then you're seeing a state like Florida make very different decisions based on their public health beliefs. And a lot of the red states that we're seeing are not aligning with public health policy. So if this was to become federal, which it's hard to say if that will ever happen, it's really hard to know if insurances will cover the vaccines. And that is my biggest concern in Florida.
If you are a parent that is deciding to get these vaccines, but you also have to put your kid in a daycare or elementary school, you're not going to homeschool them. Maybe you don't have the option to do that, to keep them away from other kids at all times. How do you keep your child safe if they haven't been fully vaccinated against measles or rubella or whooping cough? How do you make sure that they're going to be okay at their daycare?
And this is exactly why these mandates are scary. And it's disheartening because we know the power of vaccination. We know the power of herd immunity. And this is a term that I think a lot of parents need to understand, that when we vaccinate communities, we help the entire community. So we protect those children that are newborns that are not able to get fully vaccinated. We protect those preschoolers who are going to be in a group childcare setting who are on schedule but are not able to be fully vaccinated yet. And we protect the immunocompromised children whose bodies are not able to get vaccines because they're not able to mount an immune response. And so as a parent, this is going to be tough decisions of, am I going to send my child to childcare? I think in this time frame, advocating, calling Florida legislators, calling local legislators is really important. So one of the best things we can do is make sure to vaccinate all the people around your child, family members, siblings, anyone in close contact. That's going to be the best thing. And hopefully we can reverse this decision and not make it law.
Yeah. Now, we were just checking out the monitor up here, and Colorado is apparently going through this same motion, again, trying to guarantee these vaccines and that they're covered by their insurance.
Yeah, apparently it's going to go state by state here.
Isn't that crazy stuff?
We're
This
on
is
our
just
own.
like abortion.
Yeah.
They're putting all of this responsibility back into the states. So it depends on what state you live in, where you have more freedom or less freedom. Isn't that strange?
Yes.
Not quite the United
Bizarre.
States that we had in mind. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, in a moment of sanity, and not a lot of people are covering this, but Trump expressed reservations about Florida eliminating the vaccine mandates.
What?
Yes.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. This is a quote. I think we have to be very careful. You have some vaccines that are so amazing. Look, you have vaccines that work. They are just pure and simple. They work. They're not controversial at all. And I think those vaccines should be used. Otherwise, some people are going to catch it and they endanger other people. I'm not kidding. He actually said this. And when you don't have a controversy at all, I think people should take it.
Okay. How did this not? What?
Yeah, it didn't get a lot.
I
Yeah.
missed this.
I know. It didn't get a lot of
A
coverage.
moment of clarity and
makes sense. And the media forgot to cover it. Well, he probably took it back a few hours later. Anyway, as you know, Florida Surgeon General Joe Lobodell compared vaccine requirements to slavery, and having Lobodell, an African American, use the word slavery is such a blatant use of the race card. Well, what the hell, right? And these are the people that don't see color. Now, here are some of the responses to this. Many of the people who will get sick and possibly die are kids who had no voice in choosing this path. Apparently, the Christian party that suddenly now approves child rape is also okay with killing kids through negligent medical practices. Child rape, of course, letting Epstein off, letting the list off the agenda for Trump, who promised to release that list. Here's another response. This will likely result in the state being one of the most hazardous destinations for tourists seeking to enjoy theme parks, restaurants, hotels, beaches. This is what I mentioned. I thought, why send anybody down to those theme parks down there? Disneyland, Universal Studios. All of these places now are going to have these kids who grew up down there, aren't getting the vaccines, and spreading this disease to people who then will move back to their state from vacation and spread the disease to everybody else. This is not a good sign. This is something that has to stop. Let's hope that Trump has another moment where he makes some sense.
Well, that's a rare occurrence there.
Yeah. Well, let's frame that. Let's put a frame on it up
the
here in the
truth.
studio.
I mean, and plus going sort of completely against what Ron DeSantis is saying down there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what he's saying now. He's going to backtrack. If there's a lot of blowback on this, he might be backtracking. Yeah. And I think the legislature probably won't want this to be passed. That's for sure. That's what it has to go through. And, with all the blowback and all of the talk about this and all the other states maybe picking up on what Ladapo wants to pursue in Florida, I think this has gotten way too controversial for these people to take on. All right, now the jobs report was pretty bad. Let's get to that. Here's MAGA Florida Representative Randy Fine. I got to get the time sequence on this, okay?
Okay.
This was an interview prior to the release of the latest job numbers, which weren't so good. Listen to his response on believing what those numbers will reflect, okay? This is cut 22. Let's get to it.
We are going to have a big jobs report coming out, the August jobs report. When it does, are you going to believe the numbers?
I'm gonna look at the numbers. Look, the people who put these numbers together are human and they're fallible and they make mistakes. And if you go back and you look how these numbers always get put out and then they always get changed later.
It wasn't that they make mistakes. The reason that the president kicked out the commissioner of Bureau of Labor Statistics was he said that they were faking it. They were cooking the books, which there's no evidence of that. So do you think
when the numbers are always wrong in one direction, you have reason to be suspect. And so
there's no
I
evidence
understand
of
that. What I can tell you is
it's when more of the businesses respond and give the information and submit and respond to the ask from the Labor Department, then they can adjust what they have. It's like I get more information, we can adjust the numbers. That's been happening from the beginning of time. Yes, there has been more variable, but that doesn't mean they're cooking the books.
Well, I think that when there's problems with methodology, sometimes it's intentional, sometimes sometimes it's not. But when the numbers are always
Do you
wrong
think
in
it was
one
intentional?
direction, there's reason
always
to have.
wrong in one
I think the methodologies were problematic, and we see this in all kinds of things where numbers always tend to benefit the left, and when the facts come out, they don't anymore. And so I think the president did the right thing there, and we'll see what these numbers are like today. What I will tell you is I did 81 visits in my district over the August recess, met with manufacturers of all types, and they're very optimistic about the Trump economy. It was extraordinary. I met with boat builders and fishermen and all kinds of different companies, and they're very optimistic about where we are right now.
It was declared that this is the Trump economy officially, so we'll see what the Trump economy is starting to look like now.
You know, when you start blaming the left and the numbers are always favoring the left, yeah, that's not a good argument, man. It really isn't. It kind of shows that the left may have the right idea. I don't know. But let's play cut 20, please.
All right.
Let's get to that. They just had the numbers.
Detroit did 22,000 jobs added in the month of August. That was much less than the expectation of 75,000 guys. The July number was revised. I will get to revisions in a moment. Unemployment rate coming in as expected, 4.3%. So that would be higher than July's 4.2%. Again, 22,000 jobs added in August. Let me get you the revisions because this is what everybody is focused on. For June and July together, combined 21,000 jobs lower than previously reported. I'll categorize that now. So you see for June, it was revised down by 27,000, getting you to negative 13,000, and the change for July up by 6,000, getting you to 79,000.
Yeah,
that's
those
awful.
Are awful numbers.
Terrible.
Horrible.
That's
there's
something worse in 4 years, I think they said.
There's something wrong when the numbers go in the direction of the left. There's always
something's wrong.
I don't know how many people are going to use that as an excuse.
Good luck.
Oh my goodness sakes! That wasn't great logic or reasoning for that matter.
Not good.
Randy Fine, you better fine tune that message.
Yes. Coming up, we've got leftovers, and we'll look ahead to what we've got coming up tomorrow on John and Gordy in the morning. Stay with us.
Terrific if you like eating leftovers.
Leftovers.
Leftovers?
I kept the leftovers.
The leftovers! Just some leftovers.
Leftovers for a week and a half. He ate those leftovers.
The funeral leftovers.
Leftovers. Enjoy.
Oh, we've got some leftovers here, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
but we also have something new, a new phrase, John, that we have to learn. It's called job hugging.
Oh, yes.
Job hugging.
Yes.
That's a new trend. It's a new thing.
It's not a kumbaya thing.
No, this is not where you get together with your fellow employees and hug each other. That's not what this is.
That's not what it is.
allowed anymore.
Yeah.
You don't touch each other. Job hugging is a trend where employees hold on to their current jobs even if they're unfulfilling, primarily due to the fear of current uncertain labor markets and difficulty in finding new employment. So job hugging, it just means you want to hold on to your job whether you like it or not. Okay?
That's right.
That's job hugging. It used to be job hopping when, you wouldn't stay in a job and people would just stay for, short time and then move on to another job because jobs were plentiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you have it.
So
job hugging.
We're going to have to workshop that a little bit, I think.
You think so? How
John
can we
and Gordy.
help?
John and Gordy to the rescue.
How are we going to do anything about this?
I'm not quite sure, but I think there's going to be some kind of therapy that we can come up with.
A therapy session?
Yes, to get people to understand their job hugging fears.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, okay. We'll work on that.
Yeah, we're going to work on that one. But right now, let's get to a few very problematic things about the economy, and that is job losses and what the tariffs are doing to some of the businesses. Arkansas farmers are going bankrupt thanks to Trump tariff. And let's go to Cut 21 and listen to what they're complaining about.
Almost everything that could go wrong for Arkansas farmers did go wrong this year. And it's so bad that many are facing bankruptcy or even the closure of farms that have been passed down for generations. A dismal global market and plunging commodity prices mean there's little to no hope of breaking even for many farmers, even as sky-high input costs rise because of inflation and now tariffs. Not to mention bad weather earlier in the year.
This time last year, the rice price was about 40% higher than it is now. The inputs costs have gone up. So after a horrible year last year, where most farmers in Arkansas Delta lost money, this year's going to be worse.
Though President Trump's big, beautiful bill provided a much-needed update to safety net subsidies for farmers, they won't see those federal dollars until late next year, by which time some have projected that as many as 1/4 or even 1/3 of Arkansas farmers will face bankruptcy or be forced to leave the business amid the crisis the American ag economy is currently in. It's already taken its toll this year.
5 of my customers have committed suicide. That's how serious that this is.
Today, Arkansas farmers gathered to share their struggles with staffers from the state's congressional delegation, pleading for Arkansas lawmakers on Capitol Hill and the governor to convince President Trump to provide emergency funding to help them make it to next year.
We have to have ad hoc payments right now to make it through this year.
If there's no emergency funding this year, there will be 1 out of 3 farmers will file bankruptcy.
Wow. Until the federal government steps in to save them, farmers have no one to turn to but God.
There you go.
Wow.
Jesus. Let's bring Jesus back in. And HUD Secretary who's saying prayer is the way to go. All right. That's not going to work this time around. Let's go to the phones right now. We got Charles in Milwaukee. Welcome.
Hi, Charles.
Hey, good morning, guys. I don't want to call these people stupid, but they voted for him the first time, and he screwed them over then. They did nothing for him. They got a bailout, and I don't think that they should be bailed out again. You can't vote for somebody. He did nothing for them the first time. So what you think he's going to do something for you this time?
Yeah, you're right.
How stupid can you be?
I know, it was so devastating the last time around, and they we paid like $28 billion to farmers to bail them out.
Yes.
That's what happened. And it went to the big corporate farms, then the little farms. The little farms went out of business, but the corporate farms survived on the bailout. So good point, Charles. Good good to remind us of what happened in the first term of Trump. Let's go now to...
Thank you, Charles.
Let's go to cut 39. This is the lobster business suffering.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, tens of thousands of pounds per week to China, and that went to almost zero.
Live Canadian lobsters are on the move, destined for Asia in volumes no one has seen before.
The U.S. lobster industry has been dragged into its darkest hour, a total collapse after Canada brutally rejected all U.S. shipments. What was once a proud American export is now rotting on Maine docks, while Canadian boats sail away with the world's markets. This is betrayal, humiliation, and the death of an industry generations have built.
It's hard to stand up here and not be frustrated with what's been going on.
High trade tariffs, low bait shortages, new regulation.
Rotting lobsters sat on Maine's docks while across the border, Canadian shipments were flying out. For generations, America called itself the master of the seas, but suddenly, the U.S. lobster industry was crumbling. The question was brutal. How did a proud industry, once feeding the world, lose its grip so fast? The answer wasn't in the ocean. It was in politics, tariffs, and backroom trade diplomacy. The U.S. and Canada used to feel like seafood brothers. They pulled from the same Atlantic waters, sold to the same markets, and lived by the same rhythms. But when the trade war between Washington and Beijing exploded, lobster turned into a weapon worth billions. It wasn't steel, it wasn't oil. It was a clawed little creature that suddenly carried the weight of an international battle.
There's other places that countries like China can go to get their seafood from, and the further they develop those markets, the less need they're going to have for ours. Once
Canada wasted no...
That's right. So Canada took over the market, and that's it. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with the lobster business on the East Coast,
another.
But boys, crazy stuff.
Yeah, so
not good.
So hug your job. Don't go into lobster.
I'm going to have to cut back on lobster.
Me too.
Right. We're in the same country, so we'll still get the lobster.
Hey, that's going to do it for us. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Mike McCabe joins us talking about the best laid plans. Sometimes they go awry, but it can be a good thing. All right. Stephanie Miller's next.
I don't know.
That's it for us.
It's not happening.
Have a great day. All right. Okay.